now give the floor to the representative of Algeria.
Mr. President, I have the honor to deliver this statement on behalf of the A3+, namely Guyana, Sierra Leone, Somalia, and my own country, Algeria. At the outset, the A3+ extends its sincere appreciation to Special Envoy Geert Pedersen and to Ms. Adam Wozerno for their briefings. The situation in Syria remains fragile, as demonstrated by the recent cycle of violence in Suwaida province. The A3+ firmly condemns all acts of violence against civilians and calls for thorough and transparent investigation into all incidents to ensure accountability for those responsible. These events underline the urgent need for inclusive national dialogue and reconciliation to lay the foundation for lasting peace and stability in Syria. We take note of the announced ceasefire and urge all parties to honor their commitments in good faith. Past experiences have shown that agreements are only as effective as their implementation. We also take note of the commitments made by the interim authorities and encourage their translation into concrete actions. The safety of all civilians must be guaranteed and humanitarian access routes must be ensured. The A3+ expresses concern over the use of hate speech and growing trend of addressing Syrians based on ethnic or religious identity. Such discourse undermines national unity and jeopardizes long-term peace in Syria. Inclusivity, national reconciliation, and social cohesion are essential for a stable Syria. The A3+ emphasizes the importance of protecting communities. Attempts to exploit their grievances for geopolitical gain must be resisted collectively. The A3+ further takes note of the findings of the Commission of Inquiry regarding crimes in the coastal region and demands that all those implicated be brought to justice. Justice and accountability must be the foundation for healing and rebuilding in Syria. We reiterate our support for a Syrian-led and Syrian-owned political process, effectively facilitated by the United Nations and leading to a political transition that reflects the legitimate aspiration of all Syrians, including women and youth, and ensure their full participation in shaping the country's future. We renew our strong support for the United Nations and the efforts of the Special Envoy whose role remains crucial. Mr. President, the A3+ urges all regional and international actors to avoid turning Syria into an arena of confrontation and to instead contribute constructively to peace and recovery. We reaffirm our steadfast support for Syria's sovereignty, unity, independence, and territorial integrity, and we express serious concern over Israel's repeated violation of Syrian sovereignty. The A3+ strongly condemns such violation and the military operation being carried out in violation of international law, including Article 2 of the UN Charter. We call for the full implementation of the 1974 Disengagement Agreement and reiterate that the occupied Syrian Golan is Syrian territory, as reaffirmed by Security Council Resolution 497. We demand a complete end of Israeli incursion and full withdrawal from the occupied areas. We demand that UNDOF must be allowed to carry out its mandated activities free for impediments, and that there should be no military activities of any kind in the area of separation. Mr. President, the humanitarian situation in Syria remains catastrophic, worsened by drought-like conditions, wildfires, and also the renewed fighting in Sueda. At the same time, funding of the humanitarian response remains woefully inadequate. Today, Syria is a country in ruins, a nation in urgent need of international support to rebuild its infrastructure, its economy, and its institutions. The A3+ calls on the international community to intensify efforts toward Syria's recovery. There can be no sustainable peace without sustainable development. Despite the aforementioned challenges, the flame of hope in Syria has not been extinguished. Let us work together to keep it alive. The path to peace may be long and laborious, but we trust in the resilience and determination of the Syrian people. To them, we say the A3+, namely Somalia, Sierra Leone, Guyana, and Algeria. We stand with you, unwavering in our support and solidarity. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Algeria for the statement